Hey everyone, welcome back to the second part of our quail raising series. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you haven't set up or bought an incubator yet is go back to part 1 where I show you all the tips and tricks on picking an incubator, buying one, and getting it set up for your quail. So that will also show you that this has been running now for quite a few hours and we've got it up to quail specs. Quail specs, when you are very first starting for the first 2 weeks, is between 99.5 to 100 degrees and between 50 and 60% humidity. So we have got this running in here. This has been going for quite a while to make sure that it's holding steady. And I also have that separate thermometer inside that is attached to my phone. You don't have to get one that fancy. You can just get a regular one to just kind of make sure that this is telling the truth up here, because we want to know exactly what it is in there. So in this video, we are going to show you how to just kind of test to see that your eggs are viable that you're putting in. We're going to put them in. I'm going to show you how to set everything up. We're going to candle them together over the lockdown period. And then by the end of this video, we are going to be at the day that it's starting to hatch. Once we are finished that, the third part of the series is going to actually be hatching them out and getting them ready for the brooders. So watch for that. So this is going to be part 2. We are just getting these eggs in and I'm going to show you what it looks like this whole time they're in the incubator. So we're going to follow you through all the way to hatch day in this video. So getting started, you have your eggs. You're going to need a couple things for this. Your incubator that's already set up, good to go. You want some mouthwash. You want the original yellow kind. None of this wintergreen spearmint stuff. None of that. Just the original yellow kind in a spray bottle. And you're going to need a dish with some water and your eggs. So when you do get your eggs, most chances are if you're just starting out, you've purchased these. Or maybe you do have ones that you've been saving. But this is not crucial, like your eggs aren't going to not work just because of this, but this is just in good practice. As you collect your eggs or as you keep your eggs for hatching, so if you've got male and female going on, but maybe you only have a couple and you're only getting a couple eggs a day and you need to save up until you can fill your incubator, keep them pointy end down. Another tip for kind of making sure they stay viable is taking something, anything, a pack of gum, a roll of duct tape, anything you have, and just kind of put them on their side like this. And once or twice a day, just moving them back and forth. This is just rocking them back and forth so that nothing is settling to the bottom. So pointy end down, rock them back and forth until you have enough eggs to put them in the incubator. If you have purchased these and you just got them, you don't need to do all that. If they're pointy end down and you want to get just going right from purchase, you can do that. And that's actually exactly what we're doing today because I got rid of all of my male quail, so we're kind of starting from scratch here. So I've got all of my eggs that were stored down. The first thing we are going to do is I want to open these up and give these a good clean with just some water. And you don't want to go too hard with the scrubbing of the quail eggs because they will break in your hands. So just taking them and you can use a dishcloth or a paper towel and we're getting any major debris off, poop, things like that. Now it was during that process that you can actually check all your eggs over for any cracks or any damage to the eggs because we don't want to put a cracked egg into an incubator. That will just stink up the place. So now that we have washed everything off and kind of made it cleaner to deal with, we're going to do a float test. And what this is going to do is it's going to tell us whether the chances of our egg are viable or not. So if we go ahead and we put our egg in, now don't put a pan too high of water because you don't want this falling all the way to the bottom and then cracking. So if you have just, about a cup of water, cup and a half of water, that's good. And we're going to gently put our egg into the water and let go. And we're going to see what it's doing. This one has gone to the bottom. This is likely a viable egg. If it floats to the top, it's pretty much not. If it does float to the top, give it about 30 seconds to a minute before you call it a loss because sometimes the eggshell just needs to rehydrate itself and it can end up sinking to the bottom anyways. So if we put one in and it starts floating, give it a minute and see if it does rehydrate itself and sink. If it's, you know, been a couple minutes and those eggs are still floating, they're really not good. After I do each egg, we're just gonna put them on a paper towel and then we'll spray them afterward. Let me show you what an unviable, so that one was good. I have some eggs in my fridge that were from an all-female flock, so I know they're not fertilized. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, see that? That's from one of my girls outside that does not have a male. And that's what you would be looking for, an unviable egg. So go ahead and test all your eggs. Set them out on some paper towel when you're done. Okay, so we have them all sitting out. These were all viable by the looks of it. Now what you want to do is we're going to take that spray bottle of our mouthwash. What this is going to do is we are basically just treating the eggs with an antiseptic. This isn't necessary, but what this is going to do is it's going to get off any disease, fungus, potential bacteria from whatever flock you're getting this from. And it's going to just coat the outside of the eggshell so when they do hatch, there's a very, very, very slim chance that they are going to contract any of those bacteria that were on the eggs because we're basically treating them for. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just dab these lightly with a dry paper towel just to dry off some of the water. And when you are done that, you are going to hit it with the antiseptic mouthwash. So I would go ahead and hit it on the first side. And then we are going to roll them over. It's a little bit of an extra step, a little bit of an extra pain, but honestly, worth it. I have yet to have a disease or anything in any of my hatches. So go ahead and roll them all over. And then you are going to hit the other side with the spray again. And when you are done this, we are just going to let these sit and air dry for a little bit. The reason we're going to let them air dry and almost completely, and if you wanted to, you could even take it off of the wet paper towel and move it onto a dry paper towel again, but I wouldn't because of your hands unless they're completely clean. Just leave them. Let the eggs air dry for a bit, turn them over and let them air dry a little bit more until they're as close to air dry as possible. And then we're going to throw them in the incubator. We don't really want to throw wet eggs into an incubator. It can lead to some problems. It can lead to like improper moisture displacement when they're first starting out. It can actually lead to cracking sometimes of the eggs. So let them dry out a bit. If I'm being honest, the first time I forgot to let them dry out and I put them in and they still hatch no problems. It's just we want all of this to dry off and just be good to go. So I'll meet you here in a couple minutes once these are dried off. We're going to throw them in. I'll show you exactly how to set things and then go from there. Okay, now that everything is dry, our next step is putting these eggs into our incubator. So every time you lift your incubator lid, you're going to lose heat and humidity. That's okay. That's why we want to do this quicker, just to try and avoid losing as much as we can. Don't work too fast where you're dropping things and breaking things, but just move swiftly and try and get that lid back and secured on. So with chicken eggs, duck eggs, all those kind of things, you're usually doing one per. With quail eggs, you can do a couple of eggs per slot. So that's what I'm going to do. I have 2 dozen here, so I'm going to put 2 per slot in there. Okay, so I have put them all in. I have my thermometer in there, so these ones didn't obviously fit all of the eggs in. But as you can see, I've lost a degree of temperature and about 10 degrees of humidity. That is okay. It will climb back up. We are good to go. Now, let's talk really quickly about what you're going to do every day and what the expectations are for this incubator during this process. So, referring up to this chart that I have here, I'm going to try and put a PDF down. I can also type this out in the comments below so you can see. Quail incubate for up to 25 days. Hatching typically starts around day 18. So I have actually seen them hatch sooner than, but we will go over that. So we are on day 1. We're looking for temperatures between 99.5 to 100 with the humidity 50 to 60. We already talked about that. We are good to go in our incubator. From days 1 to 15 are what we call our free days before lockdown. Because when you hit lockdown, you are no longer touching anything. So day 1 to 15, we can go in and we can candle our eggs at any point. We can play around with humidity and temperature within this range, okay. We can open the lid, we can turn it, use our egg turner in here to turn the eggs, all for the first 15 days. The day that we get here, it's called lockdown, where we're not allowed to touch it anymore, and our specs change a little bit. The temperature remains the same, but the humidity gets higher. The humidity heightened is going to help the eggs crack and get those quail out. So, no problems. You're going to see that going through the video. We will talk about that. The egg turning. So, a couple times a day, you're going to want to do a couple of things. We're going to want to come in. Again, I just opened this, so mind this. Don't freak out. You're going to want to come in and make sure our specs are proper. So the temperature is 99.5 to 100. The humidity is between 50 and 60. We also want to make sure that that thermometer in there matches to make sure that we are good inside. Egg turning. So when you were purchasing your incubator, you made a choice whether you wanted to have one that had an egg turner or not. There's usually 3 different types. There's one that doesn't have an egg turner at all, where you would have to lift the lid each time and go in and hand turn. If we're being honest, that's the least desirable, but that's okay. Still doable, and that's going to run you very, very cheap, on the cheap side for buying an incubator. The second type is having this egg turner in here. That's essentially what this little tray is, these slots, where you would push a button and manually turn your eggs. And you're going to want to do that 3 to 5 times a day. The third option is an incubator that has a manual egg turner in it already. So it's very hands-off. You put your eggs in and the machine is going to turn the eggs themselves. And you don't have to worry about that. Most incubators do that every couple hours. This one does it itself, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you don't, you have to learn your incubator and how to do that. So I am just going to test this. And I want to make sure all of those eggs are turning so that I know my incubator is going to be able to turn them. I don't have to watch to make sure they're being turned and everything's good. I'm going to do that one more time. And again, just observe all the eggs. Make sure everything is turning around. We look like we're okay. So because my machine does that itself, I don't have to worry about it. But like I said, if you have to manually do it yourself, 3 to 5 times a day is the recommended time to do that. So to recap, the first 15 days before we lock down, we are a couple times a day turning our eggs if need be. We are checking a couple times a day to make sure that these are in the proper specs. And we are keeping our water filled and just overall checking. Starting usually day 5 or 6, we can get a really good what's called candle on these eggs. And candling is where we're going to take a couple of them out, put them on a light source. So some incubators have the candler in it. That's why I purchased this one, because it does. It's a very bright light where we can see inside of the egg and see if there's any development. So that will kind of tell us where we're at with our eggs. If the eggs were any good, we can check on air sac, and we will do that in the next week. So stay tuned for further along in this video. But I just wanted you to see what the setup looks like, what the expectations are. So going back to this chart, we're still within the first 2 weeks, where at any point we can candle the things, open them around, we're turning them, and we're going to start candling in here. And we'll show you what that looks like, and we will continue on. So we'll see you in a few days, and we will go from there. So we are at day 7, and we are going to candle our eggs. So I am actually going to do a separate video that talks all about the whole process of just candling itself and the humidity and the temperature and how that plays a role in your candling, what to look for, all those things. It's going to make this video way too long and too much information at once to try and put all that in one. So that's going to be a short separate video. So definitely click on that if you're interested more in the process. But we are going to candle because we're a week in. And I'm just going to show you that very quickly just to show you that things are moving along. And then in another week's time, we'll be hitting lockdown where we can candle one more time. And I'll show you the process of taking everything out. And then after that, the next video is going to be actually hatching those, because we're going to do that in a separate video as well, because I want to troubleshoot with you as they hatch. I'm going to answer common questions, anything like that where there might be problems that arise, and just talk about that separately. So let's go ahead and I will show you a candle, and then I will show you what it looks like to lock down, and we will wrap this video up as how to actually incubate your eggs. Okay, so we are just going to candle these bad boys. So like I said, I'm going to do an actual video about all of the candling, what we're looking for, yada, yada, yada. But a basic breakdown after the first week is you are looking for an air sac somewhere in the egg and what looks like some sort of development, which we actually have in this egg here. So quail eggs are super hard to candle sometimes, unless you have like a fantastic candler, just because they're so tiny, and a lot of them, I'm showing you on one of the white eggs here, but if we come into a brown egg, sometimes like they have the brown spots on it and it's really hard to see. So again, we're candling. It's hard to see on this one, but there is an air sac at the bottom of this one. So this one should be good. So the moral of the story is we've got some activity in here. If I show you an egg that I know is not developed, because this one's from my girl outside, it wasn't even in the incubator. See, there's like absolutely nothing going on in here versus this one, which very clearly has an air sac and something going on. So if you want that more detailed video on exactly the ins and outs of candling eggs, go ahead and go back to the playlist and check it out. Otherwise, I'm going to see you in a week, and I'm going to show you how to put this guy in lockdown, and we will continue on from there. Okay, friends, today is lockdown day. We are on day 15. And this is at the point where we are no longer touching our eggs. So basically, once we hit lockdown, the day of, you can do your last candling to see if you want to do anything and see anything in there. Then we're not going to touch them. We have an egg turning rack in here. We want to take this out because we do not want these eggs being turned anymore once you hit lockdown. It's completely hands off, the eggs to just stay by themselves and keep to themselves without being touched, and they will eventually do their own thing. So no more turning as of lockdown. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to switch our humidity. So the temperature stays the same, 99.5 all the way through with the humidity of 50 to 60. But once you hit lockdown, we switch humidity. We are going to up it to 70%. You can go as high as 80% if you like for the lockdown. So lockdown starts on day 15. We are going to have hatching now. Usually starts on the 18th, so 3 days later. I have seen hatching in here. Hatching has honestly started as early as day 16 for me. So that's why it's super important. Day 15, we're switching to that lockdown. We're switching the humidity up a little bit higher by just adding more water. And we are not touching anything or turning the eggs anymore. So, as I said, I am going to have a separate video for the hatching, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to go through all of some tips and tricks, any troubleshooting we might have without making this a half an hour long video. So, this is all about incubating our eggs, what you have to do to go through them and get them through to lockdown. Follow me on my next video to watch these guys actually hatch.